On my phone, it's disgusting for you.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, on my, do you guys have the app for this convention? It says 6 to 7, meet Sunny Straight.
3 p.m. to 4 p.m. meet Sunny Straight right here.
What else am I supposed to do?
I have no idea if it's at.
Oh, it's not even at 6, it's at 8.
8. Well, that's what that other
Is that
one
like tomorrow?
says. Yeah, it's tonight at 8 o'clock. I have a thing on webcomics. So this is Meet Sunny Straight.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're done. Hi. Nice to meet you guys too. For those of you who don't know, who just wandered in here and thought Meet Sunny Straight, that'd be an interesting panel to go to. My name is Sunny Straight. I am the voice of Krillin on Dragon Ball Z. Maze Hughes on Full Metal Alchemist. Drossel on Black Butler. Oh, yeah. Yeah. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. I'm also a comic book artist. This is my latest book here, and I'm selling here at the convention. And usually what I'm doing, if you get a copy of it, it's $5 and I'll draw your favorite character and do a voice for on the back of it. What else? I am happily married. I was really typecast as Maze Hughes. I have a daughter, although now she's 20 and cutting hair. But she was young when I started. And I guess this is a basic Q&A. I've also been a director at Funimation, a writer for Funimation. There's my daughter calling right now. She's Italian. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. No? Thank you very much. This is a very easy panel. I'll see you guys later at the con. Here's what happens. If you do not ask a question in my class, I go through every person in this room and make you ask a question. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you feel heroic and you want to save... Hang on just a second. Hello? I did. Hey, let me call you back later, okay? Okay, bye-bye. Yeah. So any other questions? Yes, in the back.
Who's your favorite character? Do you remember what
Right now it's Usopp. And I never thought I would say that, but lately he's been doing some really, really cool stuff, you know, and he's like, there was one scene, he was just crying and he was angry and humiliated and everything, and I was recording it and I was crying while I was doing it, and I was like, wow, that's never happened. So this goofy character with a long nose who looks like a clown has actually moved me more than any other character. Yes?
Do you have any, this is kind of a shoot in the dark type question, but I'm wondering if you have any funny stories or interesting stories from voice acting and like, just in the office.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is like that's like similar to the question we get is, what are some funny outtakes that you guys have? We do them every time we record, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint because you forget them when that's just part of what you do. I do have a story about directing Sean Schemmel that I like to tell. I directed him in a Lupin movie. He was one of the villains, and he had gas. And he was really filling up that booth with some funk. And he was being very nice. He kept the door shut the whole time, you know, and after he was finished, he left and shut the door. And I went on break and got some coffee, and then Laura Bailey came in to record. And she went into the booth, and I had forgotten what had gone on in there. And I'm just like, okay, Laura, for this character, you're going to need to, and I hear, I said, what? She goes, what is that smell? And I went, oh my God, get out, abort. And she said, what was it? I said, ooh, Sean had gas in there. And she's like, oh. And I told Sean about that the next day, and he said, yes. You have to respect that kind of evil. So, does that answer your question? The story? Booth story? There you go.
How long have you been voicing Usopp?
I've been doing Usopp, wow, 5 years maybe now? We did it right after 4 Kids did it. You like the 4Kids version?
No, I'm saying Funimation saved it.
Oh, well, the Japanese had a problem with what 4Kids did too, and I think they were just trying to Americanize it, which Funimation is guilty of as well. We've done that a lot of times, trying to Americanize stuff. We stopped doing that about 10 years ago. But before that, like Dragon Ball Z was all about Americanizing a show from Japan. Luckily, it was kind of a Western show anyway. But Japanese did not like where it was going. They had Funimation do it, and what they did was they had Funimation audition and pick what they thought were the top 5 voices for every character. Then they sent the recordings to Japan, and Oda actually had a hand in casting us. So it's the one part, if you don't like the way I do it, I say I don't give a shit. Because, excuse my language, I'm not kid-friendly half the time. Because the creator of the series says that's what they hear in their head. It's hard to beat that. Any other questions? Yeah.
Did you like being in Brotherhood or the original Fullmetal Alchemist series more?
Any excuse to play Hughes. Any. I love doing Maze Hughes. That was a weird part too, because he dies, right? And I'm unemployed for a while. And a lot of people said, "Did you cry when he died?" And I said, "Yeah, I didn't have a job." But he died, and then Mike calls me up, Mike McFarlane, one of the directors of the original series, and said, "Hey, we need you to come back and do some more Hughes." And I went, "What is he, a zombie? What's going on here?" He's like, "No, he's it's not really him. It's one of the homunculi. How do you say that?" Yeah, I still don't understand. Posing as him, and I said, "Oh, that's cool." So I did that. So I got to kind of do an evil Hughes for a bit, and then I thought, okay, that's it. Now I can mourn this character. I'm never doing him again. And I get a call from Mike again, say, "Hey, we need you to come and do some more Hughes." And I went, "Really? Is there somebody else posing as him?" And he goes, "No. It's a movie." And I went, "Oh, badass! It's so cool." He said, he said, "But he doesn't have a daughter." I went, "What? How's he Hughes without a daughter?" Yeah, and he doesn't have a wife. He doesn't, what? And he's a Nazi. Okay. How is this anyway remotely Hughes? But I did it because it's cool, it's Hughes. I got to do Hughes. And then that was it. He's gone. Never going to do him again. And then I hear about Brotherhood. And in Brotherhood, they kill him off pretty quickly. It's like, episode 9, get out! Thank you very much, he's funny, he has a daughter, bye! And then I thought, okay, that's it, this is really it. I'm never playing this character again. And then we started getting these OVAs, and I went, okay, you know what? I'm never mourning this character again. It's a waste of time. Any other questions? Yeah.
Has any of your voice acting work or anything, has it altered family life, or do you have any funny stories where maybe your family was picking on you for certain roles that you were casted, or? Not
so much picking on me because they love anytime I get a role, that means I'm making money. But when I do Lupin the Third, my voice slips in this area and it kind of stays there for the rest of the day. So I'll come home and I go, "Hi, honey," and she'll go, "Lupin?" I went, "Huh? Oh, how do I speak? Is this my voice?" Yeah. Because it's just like me, but a little smarmier, so it's it's hard to figure out how I speak. I generally, you guys know that I did Toonami Tom, the first Toonami Tom, yeah, with the little pot belly. That's the closest one to my natural voice. So that's what Chris Sabat calls a coffee drinking role. You go in there with your cup of coffee, you do a line, drink, line, drink. Any other questions? Yeah.
Prior to Funimation, did you do any voice acting, non-anime related?
I did a lot of theater. I came from a theater background. I was a theater major in college and focused on it in high school. And I was doing a lot of theater in the Dallas-Fort Worth area after school. And Funimation moved to Texas and had open auditions. And I didn't expect to get a part, but I had always done cartoon voices. My dad taught me how to do Donald Duck when I was 4. He'd come on and go, and I watched him do it, and then finally I was practicing it at home, and then he came home and he said, I went, So I was always doing these cartoon voices, but I lived in Texas, I did not want to move to LA, so the chances of me being a cartoon voice actor were none. So my plan was to be a theater professor. And I went to school, majored in theater, and then I started drawing comic books and got my first comic book story published, and I dropped out of college and focused on that. And I did that for about 10 years, and then I really got the acting bug and started doing some more theater, and that's when Funimation moved, and I got the part for Krillin. That's a really long way to tell that story. Any other questions? Yes?
Whose voice did you think was more difficult in Dragon Ball Z? Did you think Krillin's voice was, or Dragon Ball altogether, did you think Krillin's voice was difficult or Giro's voice?
Giro?
Yeah.
That's very easy. That's just a trick voice like this. Giro, Giro.
Yeah, that's an annoying character. Kind of a semi-annoying series, come to think of it. GT, you guys seen that? No. Okay, we can all move on. But you know, the problem with that is that Akira Toriyama had given up on the Dragon Ball Z at that time. He'd quit. And they still owned the rights, so they still wanted to produce it. And I really think that's what was missing. It was missing his heart, you know, because he was really the driving force behind it. And hardest voice, yeah, Krillin would be harder than him, because Krillin actually has fighting reactions and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, Usopp is the hardest. Because Krillin talks like this. Usopp has that hitch in his voice. Ouch. And he screams like every line. You know? I don't know why. I guess the original actor thinks it's funny. And he has an ability to scream all the time, but it's tough. Any other questions? Yeah.
I know that it's slightly morbid, but which death from Maze Who Q's is like the most depressing to you think?
The most depressing? I don't know. I will say that the first one I think is the best, is done the best. You know, I think it's almost like poetry the way this moves. But I love the second one because it's all drawn out, you know, and he really milks it. You know, this is Maze Hughes hamming it up for this long thing, you know, and the blood's everywhere. So I like both of them. I don't know which is most depressing. Probably the second one because he dies so much quicker and I don't have as much money. It's very depressing. Yes?
Crazy.
Lupin, such a classic, iconic character. Did you feel any pressure trying to live up to that character or to the other English actors who played?
Well, before I did it, there was only one English actor who had done it. He had done it like 10 years before me. It was for Castle Cagliostro. And so what I did was I kind of based my voice on what he did and what the Japanese guy at that time was doing. There's been other Japanese actors for him too. So it was kind of left for interpretation, but you know, that's kind of where I started from. And I didn't feel a lot of pressure at the time because it wasn't really well known then. They'd had one movie. So it was just like, okay, we got this property. We got a series of like 11 movies to do. So it was like, okay, it's a new property. We didn't know though that just a couple of months after we started, Pioneer had picked up the television series as well. So there were two Lupins being recorded at the same time. Have you guys seen the new one that's coming out, Fujiko Mine? Oh, that is so badass. It is so close to the original comic book. At least the closest thing, I think, to the comic book. Any other questions? Yeah.
What voice role do you not get that you most wanted?
You know, I've been really fortunate. I got the ones I really wanted. I did want any main character in Sergeant Frog. And I didn't get one of the main characters. But other than that, I've been very fortunate.
I can totally see that though.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I'm known for, you know, doing those goofy voices. But that's the only one I can think of. Any other questions? Yes, in the back.
We're doing the big Ragnarok or the little one?
Okay, I got cast as Ragnarok blindly. I didn't have to audition at all. Zach was casting. He said, hey, I got a part for you. I want you to play this character. He's this demon thing, you know, that screams and is evil and is twisted. And I was like, yes, you know, this is cool. And I thought, this is really cool because I don't usually play characters like this. So he's seeing something new in me that other people don't see. That wasn't the case at all. Because you watch it a few episodes in, he becomes this chibi thing that sounds like an angry Krillin. It's like, that's why you cast me. Okay, that makes sense. Krona, I hate you. Die! Any other questions? Yes.
So for the comic book, I was wondering, comic book artist, would you ever, or have you ever thought or dreamed that you would like one of your comics to either become a cartoon or Americanized anime?
People ask me that a lot, if I'd like to see my comics get onto animation or whatever, and I mean, it'd be cool, it'd be money, you know, but I'm one of those people who really loves the art of comics. And to me, the comic book is the be-all and end-all. You know, doesn't need to be turned into something else to be validated. A really good friend of mine, a woman named Wendy Peeney, who created this series called ElfQuest. Oh, and by the way, I will be the colorist for ElfQuest at Dark Horse Comics starting next month. Yeah, thank you. But Wendy, from the very beginning, wanted her comic books to be made into an animated feature. And she was just doing a comic book to get people to know about the product. But then what happened was she got the most famous, independently published comic book in the history of comics. It was like worldwide. At one point, they were beating the X-Men in sales.